Welcome to our 21-day purification program. This is our 20th year of having this class. We have it in person every year, and with the added adventure of Zoom, we have that now as well. So welcome. Here's what's going to happen. So we have a whole program, and it's just really a wellness journey. And for the next 21 days, you're going to follow this program, and it's really the most important factor is for me is that it's your lifestyle change. We're going to create a new normal for you. You're going to learn how to take supplementation to support that liver detoxification. You're going to learn how to cook some great food. You're going to learn to be a master at making the best shake ever. And you're going to have a nice addition of exercise, because I will say exercise a lot in this program because it is so important. So, why do we even do a purification? Well, we have 80,000 chemicals that are registered in the US for use, and those chemicals are also kind of damaging to our bodies, especially specific systems like immune system, nervous system, endocrine system, and reproduction system. So, if the body's not working properly, none of those systems can work accurately. We have 80,000 chemicals registered for use. That's so many chemicals, and 800 of million pounds of either herbicides or pesticides in our foods, and 167 industrial chemicals that are found in adults that are not even in the industry or near where they're designed. So we're absorbing them. So if your neighbor sprays their yard with chemicals, you breathe that in, you're exposed to that. Farmers spray their wheat with glyphosate to kill the wheat so it doesn't mold, and you're eating that wheat, and so you're exposed to glyphosate, and that's how it happens. So we have a choice. And I like to say that if we're talking about choice here, this sounds terrible, but it's what I tell patients. Whatever you put in your mouth is either an act of nutrition or an act of suicide. There's probably a much nicer way to say that, but for me, super important to understand that whatever you put in your mouth, it's going to make a difference. So when we talk about toxins, we have toxins that we're exposed to outside of our body, and also toxins that become inside of our body by our own body making them. So in order to do that, the toxins build up over a period of time, and it affects your sleep, it affects your digestive system, it affects your weight gain, that middle section where you get that belly fat, and also reduced mental clarity and low libido. So those are all precursors for a liver being toxic. And we just live in an environment that is so toxic. Now, in Florida, we're really lucky because our skies are pretty clear, but I travel a lot to teach. And when I fly into different cities, it's like, oh, it's a rainy, cloudy day. Oh, no, that's smog or air pollution. So you're breathing that in. Cigarette smoke, if you smell it, you're breathing it in. If you smell gas or diesel when you're driving your car, you're breathing that in. I sit on an airplane a lot and I smell jet fuel, I'm breathing that in. Your toxins that are exposed to every day, like if when you fuel your own car and you're putting gas in, you smell that, that's an exposure. If you have little plug-ins or you do candles in your house, that's toxic exposure. Ladies, if you have your nails done, gentlemen, if you golf, and ladies, if you golf in the morning and you pick that ball up and your hand is wet, think about what they spray on that golf course. Those are all the exposures we get, and we just can't live in a bubble. So it's important we at least do something. And we do this 21 day every year. It's a great restart. I love it because it gives me mental clarity. I have focus. I sleep well, and I just overall feel better. And it's great to clean up past. I mean, I see what all my patients do on Facebook and what they post. So I know they all need it. And I have patients that do it with us every year, not because it's their first time or they don't know what to do, because they need the support and the accountability. That's why I teach this as a program. It's my passion. So here's a little picture of what that exposure looks like. And none of us can be exempt from that. If you're living out on the grid, maybe so, but if you're on the grid, you're probably not watching this. We have organs that are really important in assisting in purification. And when we think about the biggest organ that's going to be responsible, it's going to be the liver. I mean, that does its cleanup duty. And it filters the toxins, it metabolizes your fats, your proteins, your carbohydrates, and more importantly, it takes toxic substances that we are ingesting, whether through breath or through eating, or application to our skin, and it makes them harmless. So super important. Now the kidneys have a big function too, because when the liver renders these things harmless, it makes them water soluble. So the kidneys then are responsible for filtering that out by, urine. Also, we can also filter things out by breath from our lungs. So we have many opportunities for those toxins to be released. Small intestines are also important. When we eat, our digestive system breaks those foods down. If the foods are not broken down properly, then the small intestine's job is to say, okay, yes, come in. No, you can't. And if it says no, you can't, that's when somebody throws up because their body's saying absolutely not. It's kind of the guard dog of our digestive system. If a small intestine makes a mistake and lets it through, then the large intestine is left to deal with that. And if it's a no-go for the large intestine, like it's like, what am I going to do with this? Then we have diarrhea. So it gets it out quick. And large intestine, remember, that's your immune system. In your large intestine, if your GI tract and your microbiome is functioning properly, that supports your immune system. It has 70 to 75% of the gut-assisted lymph tissue in your whole body. And the other thing it has is 95% of your serotonin. Yeah, serotonin's for your brain. Only 5% is made in the brain. The other 95% is made in your large intestine. So you can understand how if your gut is off, your brain can be off. That's why we call it the gut-brain connection. You have butterflies in your stomach before an activity, or when you get nervous, you can't eat, or you can eat when you're nervous. Those are all that gut-brain connection. So, as the liver does its job, it has three phases. Phase number one is really unlocking all those toxins. Problem is, when it unlocks those toxins, it makes them even more toxic than they were to begin with. So, very necessary to have that phase two come in and render those more toxic toxins harmless by making them more water soluble. And then the third phase is elimination through your kidneys, through breath, and that helps to eliminate those toxins. The body has a system already in place. It just was never designed to do the work that we make it do. I mean, if you go to a new hotel room, the carpet, it'll have formaldehyde on it, and you're breathing that. If you get a new car, the off-gassing of the car, you notice that film on the inside of your windows and you seem to clean it all the time, that's off-gassing. You're breathing that in. So when somebody says, oh, I don't need to do a detox, that's not true. Everybody needs to do a detox. I always recommend it at least once a year. And in our practice, we also do 3 5-day flash detoxes. So April, July, October gives you a chance to kind of get back into the swing of things. Also, if somebody goes on a vacation and they, or a cruise and they eat a little too much, great time to just clean up again. We'll talk about that at the end of the program. So this is what the liver looks like. It's a big organ. It's one of the organs that can regenerate. So if we take good care of it, it'll be good to us. So the phase one has enzymes that make the toxins more toxic. Phase two has enzymes that then conjugate it and break it down so it becomes more water soluble. And then phase three, it's removed from the body. And, our diet is huge in contributing to this toxic load and excess weight. Remember that belly fat? That's the liver being congested. And it happens by MSG, so high fructose corn syrup, which is ubiquitous in your soft drinks, trans fats. That's what keeps those cookies on the shelf forever because the trans fats don't disintegrate, and sugar. So we'll talk about all those. So each week I'll talk about sugar and the why not to have so much, and the trans fats and why to get those out of your diet. And then week four will help you to get you back on the track and give you a plan of action. And so, what are Americans eating? 3,000 chemicals are added to our foods, and the FDA approves of that. The American consumes about 75 pounds or more of sugar annually. And if I'm not eating 75 pounds a year, somebody's eating my share. So it's a big contributor to calories in our diet. And this says 16% of the total calories in American diets. And I'm sorry, that's much more than that. So the FDA, which is responsible for taking care of us, allows certain chemicals in our food. For instance, carnauba wax. And if you're not aware, carnauba wax is something I wax my car with, and it's a surface finishing agent. Ethylene glycol, that's antifreeze. That's what we use for a surface removal for things. It goes in your car to keep things from caking. It's a solvent. So It's just really not something I want in my food. But guess what? It's in gummy bears. And what do you feed your kids? Gummy bears and some of these candies. And even when I have patients, when I do a functional medicine appointment, I have patients bring in their supplementation and we go through the labels. And it's just shocking to see some of the stuff that's in the labels, which is why I use Standard Process and MediHerb because they're organic and whole food based. When we look at this carnauba wax in vitamins, it'll have carnauba wax. It'll have calcium carbonate, which is really chalkboard chalk, and it's the form of calcium we don't absorb. And there's a variety of things that are in there that are kind of shocking. The ethylene glycol, this is antifreeze. And that's why we worry about our pets touching it or drinking it and or children because it's a pretty color green and it's sweet to taste. And guess what? It's in your ice cream. You know why? To make it easy to scoop out. So read your labels. This is really important. And that's really starting. That's why we do this program and we really introduce those whole food based products and foods. I want foods that are nutrition rich and fiber dense. So real food versus fake food. We went to Mexico a couple of years. The picture on the left is the market in Mexico. The picture on the right, obviously, is a market in the United States. When we're starting on this journey in our office, we do a body composition. So we look at things like BMI. BMI is body mass index. And if you don't know, you should know. So when we look at a normal body weight, BMI should be 18.5 to 24.9. If an overweight, then it'll be 25 to 29.9. And if it's obese, it'll be anything over 30. And now they're saying that over 30, I believe it's 37 to 40. Over that is considered morbidly obese. It's shocking when patients find out what their BMI is. And it's really a height and weight and coefficient formula that figures that out. It doesn't really take into consideration muscle, bone, fat, and the water in your body. So in our office, we use an InBody 570. And if you don't have access to that, go online. All this will be listed on the Facebook page. Go online and look at InBody Near Me. You want an InBody 570, and that will help measure all this, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But just for a general look, so my height is 5'4". My weight is anywhere from 125 to 130. So for me, my BMI will be 21 to 22. So you can see that second column diagonally is in that good range. If it's lower than that, then you're underweight. If over that, then we have a problem. So make sure you look at that when you're doing your weigh-ins. Since you're not coming into the office, you're going to have to be responsible to go out and get that. And I really encourage you to do that. In our office, we do a complete body composition the first night. We weigh each week, and on the last night, we do a complete body composition again so the patients can see their gains muscularly and losses fat-wise. And this is what the report looks like, and you can see how comprehensive it is. And I'll just explain it real quick. So if you get a chance to do this, it may cost you 45 or 50 bucks. A lot of your CrossFit places, there's a lot of places around that have this machine. So look at it. It's not one you're going to go buy. It's a $10,000 machine, but the accuracy is really, really impactful for my practice and for my patients, and for myself included. I use it as an athlete to make sure that, and as I age, that I'm aging optimally, maintaining muscle, maintaining bone, and decreasing fat, and maintaining a good fat ratio for my percentage of body fat. So if you look at this column over here, it says intracellular water and extracellular water. That's your lymph, your muscles are 75% water, your blood, your urine, all that makes up your total body water. Your dry lean mass, that's your bones. So we add the dry lean mass to the total body water, and that gives us our lean body mass. And then we add the fluffy stuff on to give us our total body weight. The next column shows weight, and it shows a down and an up arrow, so it tells you where you should be and shouldn't be. On the SMM, that's skeletal muscle mass, we always want this to be more. I would much rather be at more and in the neutral than below that. And then, of course, body fat, less is better. So we want to make sure we're keeping that in a mind as we do this. And down below it shows BMI, not accurate for my patients that are, especially my male bodybuilder kind of guys, because remember, it's a height, weight, and coefficient formula. And then the percentage of body fat. For men, 18% and under is what you want to achieve. For women, 28% and under. And then on the right side of this column here, you can actually show where the fat is, the right arm, the left arm, the trunk, the right leg, left leg. And so when we're doing our follow-ups, we can see what this is. There's an app on your phone. All this stuff gets ported to. So like my patients that are my virtual patients that I don't even see in the office, we have them do this. And then I can have them compare, and it's on the app so they can port it to me easily. And it has that, so they always have that data. More importantly is the visceral fat. We want this number under 10, and this 3 to 4 is really ideal. And I would say 6 to 7 is ideal as well, but I would say 3 to 4 probably more optimal. But in the fact of my patients, my challenged losers, which are usually my female patients, we can see that this weight, I can show them maybe if their total weight doesn't decrease a whole lot, I can show them that they put on more muscle, but they lost fat, and I can show them where they lost the fat. And then the goal is always to get this visceral fat number down. On the bottom half of the report, it shows where the muscle is on the body. Once again, we can compare this to their follow-up to show if I put them on a strength training program, I can see and show them the progress or not if they're not doing the exercise. Remember, exercise is so important. The myokine release from exercise does work for the brain. It's protective for cancer, protects our bones, protects our digestion, releases GLP-1, which all people are starting to inject now. Our body naturally does that, and exercise enhances that. And then on this bottom column down here, I don't really care what the weight is as long as the skeletal muscle mass is in good proportion. So we always want that to go up and the body fat to go down until you're in a normal body range. Toxicity questionnaire. The link is posted on the Facebook page. So take that questionnaire. It's really interesting to see what toxins you're really exposed to. So it's really a kind of eye opener especially when you're looking at the questions. So what can we do in this 21 days? We can address toxins, we can have more energy, our digestion will be improved, maintain a healthier weight, and then just live a healthier lifestyle because we'll take these things and transform them into a new normal for you. We have research-based evidence showing the success of the purification program, and it's also great for improving lipid profiles. So if you have cholesterol issues, then the 21 day can make a big difference in your lipid profiles and weight management. So on your Facebook page, and if you haven't received this, just reach out to us. This is the wellness guide that we'll use for our program. So you'll see on the left-hand column, it shows our tips for success and how to get ready for the program. And then I just want you to concentrate on the protocol for day 1 through 7. You're going to do 7 SP cleanse 3 times a day, 3 gastrofiber 3 times a day, 4 GI adsorb at night before bed, and then you can have 2 to 3 shakes per day. So if you feel like a little hungry and you don't really want to eat, we usually recommend starting with a shake, or at the end of the day, if you feel like you need a dessert, make yourself a chocolate shake. So if you haven't received your order, or if you haven't ordered yet, reach out to us for the link to order your supplementation. You'll need 1 SP cleanse, you'll need 1 gastrofiber, you'll need 1 GI adsorb, 1 green fruit food, and I would recommend getting 1 vanilla and 1 chocolate. Unless you really like one over the other, you probably will need 2. So go ahead and order it. It's just better for shipping, less cost for shipping for you. Because, if you're doing 1 shake a day, you probably could get by with 1 container. But if you have 2, you'll have enough to get through the program doing 2 and 3 shakes, and then you have some for after. We have patients continue using the Veggie Pro shake afterwards, just for maintenance for protein and adding that. I am a big proponent of protein, so that's why we use the Veggie Pro. And on the first 10 days, we're plant-based. So if somebody needs more protein, then they can add more scoops to their shake. So you don't have to do 3 shakes, you can do 2 shakes, but add the extra scoops into those shakes. And since the first first 10 days is plant-based, here's what I always tell patients. If you feel like you're going to fall off the program, or you can't do the program because you need a piece of chicken, a piece of fish, some eggs, have it. My rule, it has to be free range for the chicken and the eggs, wild caught for the fish, and grass-fed, grass-finished for the beef. So make sure if you follow in those, that's fine. So if you need to have it, have it. It's not going to be the end of the program. If you can do it without it, it just makes it easier. The body takes a lot of work sometimes to break some of those proteins down. The plant-based in the shake for 10 days just gives the body a little bit of a rest, kind of pauses the system. So down below, you can see the sample meal plan. So the one on the left is the 10-day for no animal protein. So like I said, if you need it, use it. On the right hand of this slide here, you can see the 21-day shopping list. So my rule of thumb is I tell patients, if it's not on the list, don't even call and ask because you can't have it. And there's always a reason why. So I limit the fruits to fruits that are lower in the glycemic index. The protein sources, just like I said, the cold water fish, eggs that are free range from free range chickens, fowl, chicken, turkey, all that has to be free range. Your beef, red meat must be grass fed, grass finished. And if possible, if you want wild game, that's fine. But some of my guys that hunt, they put out corn, and that corn is probably genetically modified. So you are what they ate. For beverages, you can have your Veggie Pro shakes, you can have your herbal teas. If you want green tea, I'm okay with that. It is caffeinated, limit it to 2 cups. The antioxidants and the phytonutrient ECGC is really important for supporting our body in that oxidation, antioxidation phase. So, as far as coffee, we don't know caffeine on the coffee. We use something called No Fun Joe, and there's a lot out there. You want something that's Swiss water decaf. And just remember that when we're talking about coffee, when you do a decaf, if it's not Swiss water decaf, they're decaffeinating it with chlorine. We're trying to do a detox, so I don't want you putting chlorine in your system. So No Fun Joe is the one we like and use. I do it in a French press, makes it kind of special. And or you can they have like the Keurig little K cups you can add your coffee to that works. And they already have pre-made Keurig. So whatever works. And there's other ones out there, but this is just one we've tried and everybody seems to like. Oils and fats, your butter from grass-fed, grass-finished cows, your coconut oil, flaxseed oil. You want these things organic and unrefined or expeller pressed. Your dressings can be extra virgin olive oil with some apple cider vinegar, macadamia nut oil, avocado oil, cold pressed sesame seed oil. Although I'm not a big fan of seed oils, you could do a sesame seed or a sunflower seed as long as they're expeller pressed or cold pressed and organic. Your vegetables, you have a host of things you can have, and that's unlimited. Any of those things down there in that list are unlimited. You can have anything under the vegetable list. We're going to limit your starchy vegetables. Why? Because they're going to be more carb heavy. And we're going to limit your legumes and your pseudo grains. So just remember, if you are on a weight management program, just limit these to no more than half a cup a day or every other day. So if you want to lose a little bit more weight, that's what you do. And I don't want you using fruit other than in your shake. Because right now, if you're hungry, you're just going to eat fruit thinking you're doing the right thing, and then your weight loss won't be what you want it to be. And then down at the bottom, you can see all the things that you can use. Now, it says coconut or hemp milk unsweetened. I will allow you to use any nut milk because I think nut milk is fine as long as you don't have a nut allergy. If you have a nut allergy, I would stay with more like a hemp milk. No oat, no rice milk. Those are grains. We don't want that. You can have a nut milk as long as it's not sweetened. And you have a lot of choices. And at the bottom of each page, you can see the QR code. The QR code on the first page will be for my recipes on our website that we can use during the purification. And on the left, it'll take you to the standard process 21-day, the real program. I have modified it for you. I've done it for 20 years. So I've tweaked it to have maximum performance for you. And so I've added things into my protocol and changed my protocol a bit just to tweak it for maximum performance for my patients. So let's talk about the products. We've got, several products we're going to use here. SP Cleanse is one that this is the big hitter for detoxification. There's 20 botanical and phytonutrients in it. Really important for supporting the liver, the kidney, and the gallbladder function. Helps with a healthy digestive system and elimination of normal toxins. So the big hitter in the SP Cleanse is this Spanish black radish root, and you can see that how there's been studies and papers done on phytochemicals in Spanish black radish, how they help to induce detoxification. And in this particular study, they used an acetaminophen. They had a group that used acetaminophen, and then they had a group with a placebo. And then they challenged both groups with, sorry. both groups had acetaminophen, and then they challenged both groups. One group had the Spanish black radish, and one group did not. And looking at plasma, they could see that the acetaminophen went into the plasma on both groups, but the Spanish black radish group, you could see that it was excreted in the urine. So that was showing that it was pulled out by the toxins. The group that did not take Spanish black radish, you did not see the excretion in the urine. So that's a really powerful study. So that Spanish black radish really, and that's what pushes us from phase one to phase two. Those really toxic toxins that are made more toxic in phase one need phase two to make them harmless, rendered harmless. So you have a lot of big hitters in here. And remember, these products are whole food based and they're grown on the farm. Most of them are all grown on the farm, and it's amazing. There's no chemicals. They have bird barriers, and insect barriers. They have flowering plants. They handpick weeds. They use compost. They rest their fields by growing pea vine in them to replenish the nitrogen in the soil. So they do a super great job. And if you ever have a chance to go to the farm, it's amazing. So the Veggie Pro Shake, this is what we're going to use, vanilla and chocolate. So it'll give you 17 grams of protein on a level scoop. I encourage a rounded scoop, and that'll give you a little 22 to 23 grams per shake. And if you want to use more, I also add Whey Pro, which is another, we'll talk about in a second, but I add Whey Pro in there. I make a great shake. I'll have to put that on there. I call it my Wendy's Frosty Shake, but healthy. And so I use Whey Pro, I use almond milk, and I use the Veggie Pro chocolate. So it's gluten-free, vegan, has the amino acids, and in particular, I like this because it has the branched chain amino acids which are responsible for building muscle. And that's in your pumpkin seed protein. So you have organic pea protein, pumpkin seed protein, and sesame seed protein. And especially the pumpkin seed is really responsible for those branched chain amino acids to build muscle. So rounded spoons will give you more than that 17 grams of protein, but we want to build muscle. It's for muscle recovery. And because that first 10 days you're not having any animal protein, I want to make up and make sure you're having protein in there. So just a lot of benefits, no MSG. It's sweetened with monk fruit, so it doesn't raise your glycemic index. GI Adsorb. Now, this is one that I personally have added to the program a couple years ago when it first came out. So normally in our functional medicine world, we use bentonite clay to absorb. Like if a patient doesn't have a gallbladder, we use bentonite clay to help manage the bile that's released from the liver. Because remember, gallbladder is just storage for the bile. The liver produces the bile. And you don't want to, if you have too much, if you don't have a place to store it and you have too much bile, that can be, causative to problems. So because we couldn't get bentonite clay anymore that was irradiated, because at standard process, if they bring something in that they do not grow on the farm, they run it through a gas spectrometer, and that lets them know exactly what's in that product. If it has anything in the product that they don't want, they don't even accept it. I love their research and development, and their quality control is just amazing. So they're like, okay, this bentonite clay is coming in and it's irradiated. We can't use this. We need another source. So they searched and they found clineptolite, and it's an adsorbent, so it pulls, and it's a zeolite. It's a mineral. It's found in the ocean. So it's great for supporting your GI health and for elimination. That clineptolite is what's very absorbent and really takes those toxins, and that's why we do it at night before you go to bed. 4 capsules. Caveat, if you take some type of medication, like a blood pressure medication, I don't care, whatever pharmaceutical you take, you need to take that early. 2 hours after that, you then can take the GI Adsorb. If you take them together, that GI Adsorb will pull the effectiveness of that pharmaceutical that you're taking out of your system. That's how powerful it is. So also this has calisaya root. In our functional medicine world, we use calisaya root for patients with hemorrhoids. It also creates a good gut barrier. That chlorella helps to build up your intestinal strength and your good microbiome. So it's a big hitter. And we use that throughout the program because especially that first week when we're really shifting that body into that phase two detoxification to really push the liver to do its work to cleanse itself, we want to get all that stuff out. So at night, perfect time to do it. Now you take the 4 capsules at night with a full glass of water. I know my patients complain, well, I have to get up in the night and pee. Good. That's part of the elimination of the toxins. So good for you. The green food we'll use week 2, so we can talk about that a little bit then, but it has a big hitter. It's phytonutrients that are really good for the conjugation of our enzymes in our phase 2 liver detox, take them over to the kidneys to be, taken out for trash. Your big hitters are your Brussels sprouts, your kale, your broccoli, buckwheat. These are all phytonutrients that are very important in supporting the detoxification system, but helps also with cholesterol metabolism, helps to act as an antioxidant, and also helps to work to detoxify the liver. So we have a lot of things that are really supportive here, and the green food also supports the kidneys through the alfalfa, and that helps also just to kind of heal the body those next 2 weeks. Gastrofiber is what we use in our program. I have used whole food fiber. I just really like the gastrofiber because the benefit of that, it softens the stool, encourages regular elimination, helps to maintain a healthy lipid and blood glucose levels, but it also has a pre and probiotic built in. So if you're taking a probiotic and you're taking some other things, check with me first. A lot of those things you can pause during the 21 day. Just give yourself a break on it. The two that I would say you can keep in would be I'm a big, lover of cod liver oil. So I would definitely keep that in. So the fennel is the big hitter in the gastrofiber, so it helps reduce any abdominal cramping and any indigestion. We're not doing the SP detox balance. I always kind of put this in there when patients ask about it. It's another form, but it's all shake. So all the supplementations in the shake. So you start out with 1 shake a day, then 2 shakes a day, then 3 shakes a day for a week, and then 2 shakes and then 1 shake. And it's a lot. And if you don't really like the shake, because it's a chai flavor, they do have unflavored, but if you have questions, if I have a patient absolutely will not take any supplementation, I will put them on this. I will like to use the 21 day because I like the using the supplementation by mouth. And if you don't want to take the pills, you're welcome to open them into your shakes. That I don't have a problem with that. So the supportive products that I was talking about, the Whey Pro Complete, it helps to supply some extra protein, which helps to increase your energy, build your muscle and your tissue growth. The cod liver oil, I mean, anybody over 50, we need fish oil, but the cod liver oil has naturally found vitamin A, naturally found vitamin D, the liver from the cod, which also has D, E, and selenium, and A. Well, A and D, so obviously. And it also has the omega 3s, which are important for your brain, for your joint, for your skin, for your hair, for your eyes, for your heart. And gymnema. This is another one. If you have sugar cravings, make sure you put this on your order form. You'll take 2 in the morning, 1 at night. It deadens the sweet receptors on your tongue and makes things just not taste good. So if you're having a sugar craving, this would be the product that we will put you on. But if you're not sure, just ask me. And the prosymbiotic, like I said, we can pause that right now because the gastrofiber has that, and we'll be taking that throughout the program as well. So if you look at this, on the left, the carrot, that's not what we want. On the right is what I want you to do. I want you to eat foods that are nutrition rich and fiber dense. And you can't get those in processed foods. So this is what I want. If you pick up a carrot or an apple or something in the grocery store, there is not a label on it because you know what it is. But if you have a carrot product or an apple product, there's going to be a whole host of things listed on there for preservatives and all that stuff. So we want to get back to the real thing, real food. So here's how your journey looks from days 1 through 10. You're going to have unlimited raw organic vegetables. You can have as much as you want, particularly your leafy greens. Important, I will say this many times for the rest of the program, twice as many vegetables as fruit. Very, very important, especially if you're on a weight management program. Your lentils and your quinoa can be cooked only half a cup daily. And if you're on a weight management problem, I would minimize that. So maybe only once you can sprinkle it on salads or however you want to do that. If you want to do like in the morning, do a half a cup cooked, you could do it as a hot cereal for your, not lentils, but for your quinoa, and you could add your chocolate or vanilla protein in there, and that's could be a breakfast as well. So mineral water, your spring water, any of the fuzzy waters, the carbonated waters that don't have anything in them but a little bit of flavoring. We use Nixie, which is organic, so there's no calories in it, but it has nice flavor to it. Swiss water decaf, your high quality oils, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. Make sure they're all organic and expeller pressed. Exercise. I know I said exercise a lot, but it's very, very important. This program, 30 to 40 minutes per day, and anybody can sacrifice 30 minutes. You sit and watch TV for 30 minutes, walk in place during that 30 minutes. Ride on a stationary bike, swim, do some yoga, do some planks, do something, not just sit there. So we'll talk about this is just days 1 through 10. So we'll talk about rest when we get to that. So once again, unlimited fresh vegetables. An average serving size is half a cup. You can have as many cups of fresh vegetables that you want. You can, once again, eat twice as many vegetables as fruit. You can eat organic as much as possible if it's available. You can stir fry it. You can eat it raw. You can roast it, saute it. You can steam it. However you want to do it, eat it. Figure that out, what works best for you. No canned or dried vegetables, and frozen is okay. We always have something frozen in the freezer, vegetable wise. That way, if we haven't gotten to the store, we still have something available. And then eat a rainbow of your vegetables because that gives you different, vitamins, different phytonutrients. And, the only difference between an apple and a head of broccoli is the sugar, and it's fructose, and the fructose has to be processed by the liver. So, not that saying that you can't have fruit. I just want you to minimize it. I want you to go for the lower glycemic index fruits. And choosing organic veggies and fruits, why? Want to buy local and seasonal. It's fresher because it hasn't been transported all over the world. If you're getting something from Chile, it's been traveling for a little bit. You get it home and it maybe lasts a day. If you buy your local, it lasts you much longer. Local farmers use compost, they use natural predators for insects like birds. Using a hydroponic tower is what we have access to, so you can grow a lot of your lettuces and your herbs on there. Citrus fruit, we have citrus fruit and bananas here. We don't spray them, so they're all natural. And the bananas are only that big. They're little sweet bananas. So we get them ripe, we peel them, cut them in half, and put them in a Ziploc so we can use just a little piece of banana for some flavoring and a little bit of sweetness. And then we don't have an active beehive right at this moment, but we do. I do have honey from those hives, and we just save that for after the detox. So you know what? And it tastes better. If you have an organic carrot and then you have a regular store-bought carrot, you're going to taste the difference. The regular store-bought carrot is going to taste like dirt. The organic carrot will have so much flavor, and there's so many phytonutrients in an organic carrot. Once again, your regimen, salads, unlimited with fresh vegetables, no pre-made salad dressings. Read those labels. We'll talk about that next week. You can mix your teaspoon of olive oil with some lemon and spices. We will take like kale and I'll cut up half of an avocado into little pieces, put it on the kale, and then massage the kale, that avocado into the kale, which softens the kale. And we massage it till the kale moans. Just kidding, sorry. And then use the rest of the chopped avocado on there with the other vegetables, and it's really quite tasty. Be careful of your balsamic vinegars. We have a place where we can buy locally, we can buy all these different flavors of olive oil, but you can also buy balsamic vinegar, which are so super tasty because they're loaded with sugar. So be mindful of that when you're getting a balsamic. You use red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and balsamic vinegar. Just make sure it's not loaded with sugar. Fruit, I'm going to say this again. Half a cup is one serving. Eat twice as many vegetables as fruit. Eat organic if you can. No canned or dried fruits. But frozen is okay. If you're diabetic or you have diabetic considerations, you want to make sure you do more of the berries, the cherries, strawberries, blueberries, because they're lower in the glycemic index, less sugar in them. Oh, did I say this before? Eat twice as many vegetables as fruit. If you want to have a successful weight management program in this program, this is the key right here. Your quinoa, half a cup cooked, not dry. It has to be cooked. One serving. So, like I said, you could heat it up in the morning with a little bit of almond milk, and you could put your protein powder in that and stir it up and make a hot cereal. And that's really easy to do. You can use organic broth. If you want to use bone broth, even though we're on no animal protein, you're welcome to have organic broth. Kettle and Fire is one we've used. Sometimes sipping hot broth in the morning, people will do instead of having their coffee. Your oils and fats, you want to have 1 teaspoon is a serving size. So 4 to 7 teaspoons per day, and I'm okay if you do 10 and 12 servings. That's okay. It's not the fat that makes you fat. It's the sugar that makes you fat. And we'll talk about that next week. So cold press on processed, organic, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, your flaxseed, your grapeseed, butter from organic pasture-fed cow is best. You're going to avoid margarine, spread, any kind of spreads, corn oil. I can't believe it's not butter because it's not. Canola oil, any hydrogenated oils or trans fats. If you have any of those in your possession now, either give them to somebody you don't like or throw the stuff away and recycle the containers. I can't even tell you to go give that to the food banks because I don't want anybody else to have that food. But real butter is better. And here's this is look at this. The human brain volume is 1.1 liters of an ant brain. An average of 1 microliter, so a million times smaller. An ant's brain is a million, 1 million times smaller than a human brain. And they know which butter to have. What's wrong with us? We have a big brain. Let's use it. So the ant makes a better choice than us humans with their little brain being a million times smaller. Use your brain, not the ant's brain. So for your beverages, water, spring water, mineral water, I don't want purified water, bottled water. So we have a filter water. We have a filter on our water because we're on a well. You can have filtered water, that's fine. You can have your fuzzy water, that's fine. But as long as it's not sweetened, half your body weight in ounces of water is really good because remember, water helps with the elimination and the toxin removal. Nut milk with no added sugar, and that's for your shakes only. If you want to put a little bit in your cereal, put a little bit in your coffee, I'm okay with that as long as it's not sweetened. If you want to sweeten your coffee, monk fruit or stevia are what we want to use. Herbal teas, same thing. They're naturally decaffeinated. You can have the green tea, but limit it to 2 cups, even though because it is caffeinated. And then the No Fun Joe, we get it on Amazon. There are other choices out there, as long as it's organic and organic and Swiss water decaf. I'm fine with that. Find it. This has kind of been a test proven by all my patients, so that's why we do that. So just try to choose your organic sources. The beauty of food as medicine is that the choice to heal and promote health can begin as soon as the next meal. It's a choice. Active nutrition or active suicide. Really, that's a tough conversation, but I'm very frank about that because, we make these choices every day, and it's the only difference between rat poison is the sugar, So keep that in mind. So here's your meal plan again, just kind of looking at that. That's on your guide already. You want to make sure days 1 through 10, the Veggie Pro shake, you can have it for breakfast. We throw spinach or kale frozen in there, and then your choice of berries, and that helps to give it some great flavor. You can snack on some pumpkin seeds. This day 1 through 10, arugula salad with vegetables, avocado dressing, and you can really Google any of those dressings. I mean, put a no sugar avocado dressing and just Google that, and you can find your recipe. If you have a recipe you like and you like to use, and it's purification friendly, please add it to our Facebook page. So you can have a snack in the afternoon, just putting your blender bottle. So I make different kind of shakes. We do a blender bottle. So that's the plastic bottle with the metal ball in there that you put your almond milk in, maybe a little water, put your powder in, your either Veggie Pro chocolate or vanilla. They are good at just standalone. I put ice in on top and then shake it, and that keeps the powder from sticking to the top. And then it kind of melts down through the day. So I'll sometimes keep one shake like that in the refrigerator and just use that to take my supplementation for the day. Roasted veggies for dinner, sweet potato, half a sweet potato, put some butter on it, real butter, and then maybe have a shake in the evening for your dessert if you're still hungry. And then day 11 through 21, we'll talk about that when that time comes. So this is what it looks like. You can make guacamole and use carrot chips. You can get the carrot chips that are ripple cut like that, or do your own. You can use sliced zucchini. You can use sliced yellow squash. I mean, there's all different kind of things you can use. And if we have to go to a party, that's what we take. We'll take chips for the anybody else, but we'll do that. And it's so funny because people are like, "Oh, I never thought of doing this," and they're eating my carrots with my guacamole. So easy to do, and guacamole is definitely purification friendly. So, like was our dinner, our yellow squash, our vegetables. I like to roast some vegetables. So roasting and sautéing, we use a silpat mat or parchment paper. And so you set your oven to 450 degrees, and then you cut your veggies up. We put them in a steel bowl, throw some extra virgin olive oil, maybe some garlic. We use something called gobs of garlic on that. And then spread it out on the tray, put it in, and then just cook it as long as you like it. I'll turn it over a little bit to get it. I like them a little crunchy. So do it how you like it. And, we do all our veggies that way. Brussels sprouts may take a little bit longer, but we usually quarter them and it works out great. So we make more at dinner time, and then what's left over, I have that the next day. So sauteing is super easy. We like to do like this is my favorite, the yellow onions, the onions and yellow squash. We do yellow onion, two cloves of garlic, and we use elephant garlic, which is super powerful. So be careful if you have to be in front of people with garlic breath. So I try to limit that to mitigate that for my patients. So I try to do that on a Thursday and on the weekend. But super easy to do. Put everything in the skillet, get it sauteed till I like to do it till the onions become kind of translucent. Then I add my yellow squash in, and it's delish. This is a soup, one of my favorite soups to make. Broccoli and asparagus, so super simple. And I like things that are simple, simple recipes, no more than 4 or 5 ingredients. You take a couple heads of broccoli, a couple heads of asparagus. Clean them, cut them, steam them. I steam it with a whole sliced onion and some garlic. And then get it out of the steamer and I put it into a big bowl. I use an immersion blender till it becomes liquid-like. And I reserve some of the liquid from the steaming and pour that in there because there's nutrients in that to make it the consistency I want. And then I also will put in a little bit of a jalapeno. If I don't want the heat, I won't put the seeds in it, but the flavor of the jalapeno just gives it that, I love that flavor. And I just immersion blender with that. You can use it if you have a Vitamix. You are my hero. I don't have one, so I use an immersion blender. Don't use it in a regular blender because it's not, it doesn't work as well because of the heat. Um, and then we put a little nutritional yeast on top and maybe sprinkle some sunflower seeds on top or pumpkin seeds on top. And then your shake. This is one of my favorite shakes. Use coconut milk or whatever unsweetened nut milk you want to use. I use water, so I like a thinner shake than a thicker shake. So I'll use half of the nut milk and half of water. Your Veggie Pro, I use vanilla in this one. The hemp, I use a little bit of a teaspoon of hemp hearts, chia seeds and flax seeds, and I also throw sesame seeds in now. I'll use half a cup of frozen mango, and then I'll use a handful of frozen kale. So when our kale or our spinach starts to get to the point where maybe we're going to go out of town and we're not going to finish it in time, I toss it in the freezer. And then I just break off a chunk of that and put it in my shake. You don't really taste it, but you get the benefit of the phytonutrients in it. Um, and that's it. That's my Green Goddess shake. So what to avoid? When in doubt, avoid anything not listed in your program. This is vitally important to you being successful in this program. So margarines, spreads, corn oils, vegetable oils, safflower oils, sunflower oils, any hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils, they're out. And you're never going to use them again, so just get them out of your house now. Caffeine, most of us medicate with caffeine because we didn't sleep well, so we have to wake up, so we have to use caffeine. It takes 72 hours to get the caffeine out of your system. So if you're having a little headache, you maybe have some green tea because it has a little caffeine that I will accept. And no alcohol. Remember, the Spanish black radish had Oregon grape root, so that's as much wine as you get for this program, okay? So alcohol, just give a pause. Doesn't mean you don't have to, but you'll be surprising. One year I did this and I didn't do coffee, and I didn't drink. I didn't have a taste. I did not have a taste for coffee for almost a year. And then all of a sudden, I kind of had a little taste for it. So that's how powerful the program is. So no coffee, tobacco, or any other stimulants. If you're smoking, stop anyway. Soft drinks, No nuts, beans, dairy, or grains. No processed or refined foods. No dried, canned, or vegetables or fruit. And no cured or smoked lunch meats. So no spam. No spam Allah for you. Supplements for 1 week. So let me review that again. So days 1 through 7, this is this first week, 2 to 3 veggie pro vanilla or chocolate shakes, as discussed. Seven SP green food, sorry, SP cleanse 3 times a day. Three gastrofiber 3 times a day. And four GI adsorb at night before bed with a glass of water away from any pharmaceuticals that you're taking, 2 hours away. So that is, 7 times 3 is 21, 3 times 3 is 9. So that's 34 capsules a day for 1 week. I know it sounds a lot, and it is, but it's really important to do that. Open up, put it in your shake. I'm fine, except for the GI adsorb. I want you to take that at night before you go to bed with a full glass of water, really to promote that detox for your liver. Exercise. Let's see. Have I talked about exercise? Yes, I have. So exercise super important. So move your body. I don't care how you do it. If you want to do yoga, if you want to do strength training, if you want to walk, you want to swim, whatever you want to do it on a bike. I don't care. 30 minutes a day. All our phones, all our devices have pedometers on there. Most of you wear Apple watches or Samsung watches, a Fitbit, a Whoop bracelet. I use an Aura ring, all those to record your progress and put a notification on there saying, hey, you need to move, or you only have 6,000 steps in this afternoon, so you need to get busy so that you can remind yourself to do that. 10,000 steps in a day is 5 miles. Okay, so get busy. So definitely like strength training because that really releases the myokines, and the myokines have so much of a benefit for our brain, for anti-aging or optimal aging. Really super important. So minimum 3 to 4 times a week. I like to say 30 minutes per day. You can do lymph drainage, a massage, you can get yoga, breathing, meditation, Epsom salt bath, infrared sauna, sleep, hydration. All those are really important to really maximize this purification program. So here's your plan of action. Your start date can be the 15th or tomorrow, whenever you're listening to this. Go to the 2025 Dr. B's Purification 21-day purification program. It's a private group. We'll let you in, and then you have all of our stuff in there. And if you want to post a recipe or there's recipe ideas, it's fun because I have patients that have done it before. They'll post recipes. They give you a little cheer if you're having a question. Pop it in the chat. If you a private message me, however you want to do that. We're very reactive on that site. In that site also, we have the toxicity questionnaire to do. So mark your calendars for the 21st, the 28th, and the 4th, and those will be our next class days. Same time, same station. If you have to miss a class, go to the Facebook page. The Zoom recording will be posted so you can watch the next class. And then also download the Purification Cookbook and look on my website. Those are the QR codes there on your purification guide that I made for you. Make sure you have some type of blender or blender bottle for shakes. I personally like a NutriBullet, simple, easy to clean. Like if you have a Vitamix, you are my hero. They're just expensive. Ninja, whatever you have. A regular blender, let's get you to the new millennium. Maybe, look at something like that. NutriBullet is just really cost effective. You want a 900, not you don't really need a 1200, 600. I had a 600 and I did everything I could do to kill it so I could get a 900. And somebody gifted me a 900, so I put the 600 in our cottage that we have on Airbnb. So purchase 3 to 4 days of veggies at a time, some frozen, some fresh, because your taste will change. A couple times I did the program, I loved collard greens. I couldn't get enough collard greens. I had them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now I can hardly look at a collard green. So I will eat them, but not as much as I did before. So like I said, your taste changed. So just do something every 3 or 4 days. Chop your veggies and your fruit ahead of time, just makes it easier. And then, that helps more. Like I said, planning is a big factor there. So we will see you next week. And just remember, if you don't take care of your body, where will you live? And one of my favorite quotes is, I really regret eating healthy today," said no one. ever. All right, I'll see you next week.